George Kilpatrick Inspiration for the nation, celebrating people we feel good about. Well, I'll tell you what, my guest today is not only one of the most respected voices in the personal and financial empowerment in this world, he's also a mentor, a teacher, and a longtime friend. In fact, we broke bread together right in his own home. Homeboy cooked me something to eat, and I appreciate that. Best-selling author of A Setback is a Setup for a Comeback, the host of the #1 wealth building show on SiriusXM and many other books, and now the author of a powerful new book that challenges everything we think we know about money and legacy. Rich is good. Yeah, rich is good, but wealthy is better. The conversation is not about hustle culture. It's not about flashy lifestyles. It's about mindset, systems, stewardship, and legacy. So if you're ready to stop surviving, stop spinning, and start building something that lasts beyond you, this conversation is for you. Dr. Willie Jolley, Dr. Willie Jolley, my boy, my friend, my brother, my mentor. Good to see you, my brother.
Well, it's a privilege and a pleasure. Happy New Year to you and to all your family and all those in your network and everybody who's listening. Happy New Year. And are you ready to get your financial fix?
Come on.
In 2026. Come on, somebody. I am excited about this new year, and I'm excited about this new book. George, this is a transformational book for me.
Okay.
I'm not just talking about everybody and what it's going to do for them. It's a transformational book for me because of what I learned in the process of writing this book. You know, it's been said that it's one thing to hit a goal, but it's not just the goal that's important. It's what you become in hitting the goal. I set a goal to write this book, and it's taken me years to write this book, to learn and to grow into this book, to grow to be able to be the person who could write this book. And that's taken a long. The book is entitled Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. And I believe it's going to be one of the biggest books of this year. And from the pre-sale and the early sale numbers, people are going bonkers over this book. Now, let's talk about the book and how it came to be.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, I'm on SiriusXM, the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways show and podcast. And George, I've been hosting this show for 20 years. This is my 20th season, wow. 20 years. And some years ago, George, a light bulb, you know that proverbial light bulb that goes above your head and on cartoons? Well, the light bulb, the light bulb above my head went on. Yeah. And I realized, wow, I just figured it out. After all these years, this is just a few years ago, the difference between being rich and being wealthy. And I said, maybe I'm the outlier. I'm the only one who didn't know. See, I thought rich was a pony. And wealthy was a horse.
Right.
A bigger size of the same thing. Okay, you got a lot of money, then you're either rich or you're wealthy. It's all about the amount of money you have. That's what I thought, George. But what I realized that they're not the same species. A rich person is like a zebra. And a wealthy person is like a stallion, horse. They're two different species.
So what was the moment then, Willie, that distinction hit you personally?
Yeah, the moment was I was interviewing Bob Johnson, America's first Black billionaire. And Bob said something in the interview, and y'all can hear his interview on my podcast, the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. Great interview. But he said something. He said, in passing, almost like he was flying by this point. Well, you know, when you're wealthy, you make money while you sleep. And I said, and George, I'll tell you, I couldn't figure out what he was trying to say. I couldn't grasp what he was. In my brain, I asked myself, what does he mean? Make money while you sleep? You can't make money while you sleep. That's what I was thinking at that point. That shows
Right,
you
right.
how ignorant I was about wealth. See, I used to tell people, George, as a speaker and a motivational speaker, folks, you got to grind.
You gotta grind. You
You
gotta
got to
do.
grind. You got to
Yeah,
grind. You
yeah,
want it, you
yeah.
got to
Get
grind.
up every day and make them. Yeah, yeah.
You get up early, you stay up late, and you can't make no money in bed. Get up out that bed. But that was my ignorance because wealthy people, that's when they make their money
While they sleeping.
while they're sleeping. Now, I used to say only one kind of person makes money in a bed.
Hey.
And I don't want to be that kind of person. But no, 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 no. Wealthy people make money when they're not working. That's basically what it is.
Mm.
See, so that was when the light bulb finally caught. That's what Bob was telling me. But he did not explain it because he was another level. He was
Right,
3,000
right,
level.
right.
I needed to bring it down to the grassroots level. And that's why I wrote this book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. I wrote this book to get it down to the grassroots level. Someone recently read it and said, man, that's such an easy read. And yet my children could read it. I could read it. It's written for the everyman. All right. So I have made a decision in my speaking and my books. I don't want it to be too highbrow, though I have a doctorate degree.
Yes, you do.
And it's earned. And
That's
I
right.
did the dissertation. But
did the work.
I did the work, but I want to write my books and give my messages so that my grandchildren, your grandchildren, or somebody else's grandchildren, and you can both benefit from it. Okay. So rich is good, wealthy is better. That's the first thing. It was the combination of me learning these lessons from the Bob Johnsons, the Sheila Johnsons, the Ted Leonces, the Bill Marriotts, the General Colin Powells, the Damon Johns, the John Hope Bryants, all of these wealth creators who I interviewed, and I started getting it. Oh my God, I got it now. And then I called them and said, hey, I want to ask you a question. Is this what I'm thinking correct? And then I tell them what I was thinking. They say, yep. I said, why didn't you tell me? I said, we tried, but this is not what we do. Talk about the specifics down at that level.
Right.
You write books. You give speeches. That's what you do well. Put these lessons into a book. So I started working on the book. It's taken me 2 years, but the book is finished, and it's just phenomenal. And let me tell you, first of all, how grateful I am. See, this book is not from me, it's through me. So I know that God is blessing me to be a conduit to help people grow wealth who may have never, ever had an idea. See, if I took a baseball, George, and said, hit a wall that's close to you, could you do it? Sure.
Yeah.
There's a wall here, wall there. Boom, I hit the ball. Now, let me give you that ball again, but this time I'm going to put a blindfold over your eyes. And I'm going to turn you around and turn you around and turn you around and turn you around till you don't know which direction you're facing. Would it still be so easy to hit that same wall?
No.
No, because you can't hit what you can't see.
You can't hit what you can't see. Come on.
And you definitely cannot hit what you don't know.
That's right.
God Almighty. And so most people don't know what wealth is. So here's what I did. When I figured it out, George, I said, maybe I'm the outlier. I'm the only one who don't understand it. So what I did was I started doing a survey of going around the country as I'm speaking. And I'd say to people, hey, let me ask you a question, folks. And I get a room of people and say, what to you would you consider to be rich? And that's so easy. Everybody had the same answer. Number one answer, $1 million.
Yeah, $1 million, right. Yeah.
You got $1 million, you're rich.
Or being a millionaire, right.
Yeah, you're a millionaire, you rich. Boom. Great. Well, if $1 million is rich, then what's wealthy? And they sit and they look up at the sky and they ponder and they say, well, I guess it's 5 million, 10 million, a billion. I said, okay. Is there anything else other than the size of the money, the amount of money that a person has? Is there anything else that separates a person from being rich and being wealthy? And they'll say, No, that's all, just the amount of money. That's when I knew I wasn't the only one who didn't know. I wasn't the only one, and that's when I started doing the research and coming up with the programs and started doing the fine tuning of this concept. So in 1937, a book was released called Think and Grow Rich
Napoleon Hill.
by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill had gone to Andrew Carnegie. He was a writer. He wanted to learn about getting rich. And he went to Andrew Carnegie and said, "Sir, could I interview you?" And Andrew Carnegie took a liking to the young man and said, "Okay, I'll give you some time. Come on in." And he ended up becoming friends with Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie was impressed with his ambition. And Napoleon Hill said, "Mr. Carnegie, could you introduce me some of your other rich friends so I could interview them?" He said, "Okay." So he gave him a letter of introduction to Henry Ford and to Harvey Firestone and to DuPont and to Wanamaker and to Edison. And he went and interviewed all these titans of business. And he took all that information and compiled it. And then he wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich that became the greatest selling self-help book of all times. Made more millionaires than any book other than the Bible. Well, George, for the last 20 years, I've interviewed the titans of business of this time. Bill Marriott, David Rubenstein, Damon John,
Come on.
Bob Johnson, Sheila Johnson, David Stewart, America's wealthiest black man. You can go to that list. John Maxwell, Mark Randolph, the co-founder of Netflix. Just one, I've got hundreds of interviews on my podcast now, but they all initially aired on my XM show. I've interviewed all these people and I've combined all this information into a book. And so, rich is good. Think
It
more
is.
rich. Rich is good.
Yeah.
But wealthy is so much better. And this book, I tell you the difference between being rich and being wealthy that I didn't know. And from what my research shows, most people don't know. And second, it tells you how to get there, how these people taught how you can get there. And then here's the big one, though. The first group of people who this book is written for are all the people who want to be rich, but don't want to be wealthy, but don't know how to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And this book is going to give them a step-by-step on how money works, where money comes from, what money's for, the different uses of money, and then the difference between being rich and wealthy, and then how to protect that wealth. That's the first group. But the second group is where we're getting the biggest number. We're getting the biggest number
Right.
of pre-sales. It's all the people who have worked hard all their lives. They've scrimped and saved and sacrificed to create a nest egg, to have some wealth, some savings, something that they can call their inheritance. But they can't sleep at night because they're worried that their children are not going to maintain that blessing. Or as one man said, he said, "My greatest fear, Dr. Jolley, is that my children will not treat my money like I treated it. They won't take care of it like I take care of it. And my children are going to go through my money in months what it took me decades and decades and decades and decades to grow." See, one generation's ceiling should be the floor for the next, but it doesn't happen that way.
No, and especially in some of the communities that you and I, in our community, I'm going to say, it's not happening enough. So if somebody's entering 2026 chasing income instead of building wealth, what are they risking, especially now?
No, I want to correct that thought. Chasing income is good. Okay. It's getting stuck at rich and not knowing that there's another level. And they chasing income is good. They got to have income. Wealth is built on three stools, George, or three legs to a stool.
Come on.
3 pegs. The first peg is income. You gotta chase income, create income.
So
And
that's okay to chase income.
yes, the more income, the better to create wealth, because that's the more you can do with. Second, though, after you get the money, then you must learn to live below your means. In other words, you gotta live below the money you make. You can't spend it all up. And that difference between what you make and what you can live on is called margin.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take that margin and you got to invest it. It has to be invested. It has to grow. You got to take advantage of compound interest. You know, they say that Einstein said that compound interest is a eighth wonder of the world. I don't know if he said it or not, but compound interest is a marvelous tool to grow your wealth. So you got to have income. In the book, I write about the fisherman who was fishing one day on a pier with his fishing pole, and a young guy came with a fishing pole and a brick. He put the fishing pole in the water and put the brick on top of the fishing pole. Then went back, came back with another fishing pole and another brick. He did that 8 times. And so at the end of the day, he had 8 more fish, 8 times as many fish as the guy with the one pole. So the more income, we're not talking about 8 streams of income. You should have, there are 8 streams of income that we focus on in the book. And everybody should have at least 2 of them. So the fisherman with more than one pole can create more fish, get more fish. In other words, the person with more streams gets more income. So chase income, good. But don't spend all of it. Invest a portion of it, the margin. But then the third leg to the stool of wealth is insurance. You got to have insurance. Now, I didn't realize how critical it was, but as I did the research, wealthy have insurance. And then they use insurance as a wealth tool. They put insurance on their old people and they put insurance on their babies. They put $1,000 in an insurance account on a newborn, and they put it in a fund, maybe an index fund or some sort of fund, and they might not ever put any more money. By the time that baby gets 65, that baby will have $500,000 from that $1,000. Okay, $500,000. They put insurance on the elderly people. And because they know one day that elderly person is going to die. And when they die, that insurance policy pays off and they invest it for the family. So the wealthy understand the importance of insurance, and they have every kind you can believe. They got car insurance in case they have a car accident. They got homeowners insurance in case somebody slips on their front. They got fire insurance in case the electrical socket goes crazy and burns up the house. They got health insurance in case they get sick, that their money isn't drained away by illness. You know, Dalai Lama said that he is amazed at the people in Western culture who work, grind, so much so that they lose their health. They work to make money, and then they lose their health in the process, and then they take all their money and it goes to trying to regain their health. Okay. My friend Les Brown said something to me. He said, the person who is well has 1,000 dreams. The person who's sick only has one, and does everything, spends everything to get that dream fulfilled. They want to get well.
You want to get well.
You know, Steve Jobs is said to have said on his deathbed, I would give it all up for more time with my family.
For more time.
More time. I'd give it all up. I'd give all the money away for more time. So insurance, you got health insurance. You got disability insurance. All of these things that we often poo-poo. We don't take advantage of. Okay. So the insurance puts a force field, a moat, a barrier around your wealth. So it can't be dissipated with a crisis. That's why wealthy people have every kind of insurance you can have. So you got income, chase that income, but understand that it should not stop with just getting rich. You got investment, got to have investments, and then you got to have insurance.
So, what's the most dangerous lie people believe about money that keeps them stuck?
Well, that's a complex question because it depends on how you see money, what your life, how you were raised about money.
Mm-hmm.
You might have a money mindset that says that my church, I was taught that money is the root of all evil.
Right.
Okay. And so you have this guilt about making a lot of money. You have people who say, I don't want to be rich, I just want to be comfortable. And Les Brown said, I used to say that too, till I learned one day that in order to be comfortable, I needed to be rich. But people have this history with money that impacts how they deal with money. Okay, you might have been raised in a household where parents said, money don't grow on trees.
We heard that. Yes.
Okay, well, what are you talking about? Money don't grow on trees. And so you have all of these kind of concepts. My deal was my parents grew up or came through the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Okay. My grandmother was an entrepreneur. She had a beauty shop in Philadelphia. My mother was a school teacher, but she also had side businesses. She rented rooms in a home when we were growing up, and she sold World Book Encyclopedia, and she sold Shackley vitamins. Okay, which was a direct sales network
Oh
marketing.
yeah, I remember
Okay.
that.
Yeah, and my dad was a journalist and entrepreneur. Now, all of them said the same thing: go to school, get a good education,
And get a good job.
get a good job, and save your money. Not once in my growing up did I ever hear anybody say invest your money.
Mm.
Not once, because they were afraid of investments. Because my grandfather, my mother's father, had invested his life savings into the stock market in the 1920s to save money for his baby daughter's college one day. And he lost it in the stock market.
Mm.
And what he probably did is the stock market crashed, all the stocks were gone, and people sold their stocks and got whatever they could get. If he had held on to those stocks, if he had held on to those stocks and just let them ride, he would have become wealthy. Okay, most people though, when the stock market crashed, they lost everything. Some jumped off of bridges, some blew out their brains, most sold their stocks. So they never trusted investing again. And so that's where my history of money was. Money doesn't grow on trees. Work hard, get a job, save your money. Work hard, get education, get a job, save your money. But no one ever talked about investing. So, and then I went to church where I'd hear people say money's the root of evil.
Right.
Okay. So I had this heavy weight about money. And I had family members who had a piety is poverty mentality.
Mm.
That piety, I don't have a lot of money. Poverty, not having a lot of money is piety. Don't let money rule you. Don't let it be your God. But yet, if you ask 100 people, how many of you need more money?
Right.
Just about every hand gonna go up. So that's a complicated question, George. It depends on where family came out of. I've had friends who told their children that they should not they should focus on guarding their money, not so much on growing their money. Okay. Put it in a savings account at the bank.
And yeah. So Tell me the story about the penny versus the million,
Yeah,
right? What does that lesson teach us about patience, discipline, and long-term thinking?
yeah,
And then, but before you answer that question,
yes.
I feel like the first question is, what is wealthy then?
Okay, bam, let's do it. Let's go ahead and that's the really the $1 million question.
What is wealthy then?
All right,
Right?
here we
If rich
go.
is good and wealthy is better, then what is wealthy then? And then give me that story with the penny.
So, rich is good, wealthy is better. What is rich first? Rich is money you make during a day for what you do.
Mm.
You could be an architect, you could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor, you could be a football player, you could be a entertainer, you could be a statistician. Where you go to work and you do your work and they give you a check after the end of the day's work, or you run down the court and shoot a ball and they give you a check for a big contract, then that's how you get rich. Wealthy is money that's generated at night or when you're not working by what you own. Simple
Mm.
as this.
Money
Rich,
generated by what you own.
rich is money you make from what you do. Wealthy is money you generate from what you own.
Mm.
That's it, George.
That's
That's
simple.
it. It's that simple. That's going to
Mm.
be the new definition that we're gonna share with people globally with this book. Just as in Think and Grow Rich did something that had not been done before, concisely and emphatically. It defined success. I remember when I was working my last job, that was now 35 years ago. And my coworkers and I went to lunch one day, and we got in a great debate about what was success. And somebody said, if you're happy, you're successful, and if you got money, you're successful. And we all had this debate. Nobody had a definitive answer until I read Think and Grow Rich. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill stated it definitively. Success is the ongoing realization of a worthy goal or idea. Success is the ongoing realization
Realization.
of a worthy goal or idea. So the man with the small gas station who set out to have a small gas station that he could work till 6 o'clock and go home and be with his family, that's a success. The lady who said, my goal is to raise successful children who I can educate and put them into the world as good people, she's a success. You have a worthy goal or ideal, and it's the ongoing realization. Okay, so that's success. He defined it. The definition now of wealthy is money you generate by what you own when you're not working. That's it.
Money you generate by what you own when you're not working.
That's right. Is what you own while you sleep. And when Bob Johnson said it, I didn't get it. Okay. But once I got it, once I got it. Now, to go back to your question about the penny. So you ask, if I were to ask all your listeners, everybody, I'm going to give you one or two options. You choose which one. I'm going to give you a penny a day that will double for 30 days, or I'm going to give you a penny, one penny for the first of 30 days. And every day the penny will double until you get to 30 days. Or I'm going to give you $1 million in cash, greenbacks. Which one are you going to take? Choose which one you're going to take. Most people,
Mm.
most people going to say, give me that
Give me
million
the million
dollars.
dollars because that's right there in my hand.
Give me that $1 million. That's it. Who wants a penny? But if you took a penny and doubled it, the second day to 2 pennies, the third day to 4 pennies, the fourth day to 8 pennies, the fifth day to 16 pennies, the seventh day to 32 pennies. In 30 days, it will have doubled to $5.5 million. $5.5 million. Woo! You would have cheated yourself out of $4.5 million by taking that $1 million.
But behind that is what? Compounding
Compound interest.
interest.
Compounding. Not the interest, but compounding.
Compounding. Okay.
Yes. That's how compounding works. It makes your money grow. Wow. Wow. Is that a
But
wow?
that's a wow. And you know what's a wow about that wow is, and now they're taking pennies out of Circuit.
So before we go too far, I want to make sure people know you can go right now, folks, to Rich is Good, wealthyisbetter.com. Get copies. You get 2 or more copies, you have free shipping. I had a lady who's a doctor, drives a Rolls Royce. She owns 3 kidney dialysis centers. Very, very successful. Okay, and has means. She bought books, a box books for all her family members. She said, everybody in my family got to read this book. She read the book and she said, everybody got to read this book.
Yeah.
She had children, godchildren, nieces, nephews, anybody in her lineage. She said, because they might get a little piece of my inheritance. They got to know how to take care of this money. So going back to the 2 groups this book could, people who want to be wealthy don't know how, and then people who have worked hard to create their wealth and don't want their children or their heirs to squander it.
Well, so let me go back to this idea of money. And you said that people who hide money out of fear are being poor stewards. How do we break that fear-based relationship with money?
Oh man, it's because money got all sorts of emotional connections, all sorts of emotional baggage. That's really what it is that comes with it. And so, how do we break it? You know, it's your input determines your output, George.
Come on.
And when you change your input, you'll change your output. When you change your thinking, you'll change your life. He who knows not that he knows not, but thinks that he knows is a fool. You got to leave him alone. He who knows, but knows not that he knows, is a child. Teach him. He who knows not, but knows not that he knows not, is asleep. Wake him. But he who knows and uses what he knows is a leader. Follow him. Once you find out the information and start living it and using these principles, George, it'll change everything. It's look, case in point. Case in point. My granddaughter is in Silicon Valley. Very proud of her.
Yeah.
Now, she's a tech lady, one of the few African Americans in her whole organization, making 6 figures. She just turned 30. And she was living her life like it. She was flying off on weekends, going to Caribbean, and she was buying nice stuff. She had 2 cars. She had a $3,000 a month apartment downtown and luxury apartment. She came to visit. I gave her a pre-version of the book. I said, just read it. I want you to read it. She read it on the plane to California, from DC to California. She got there and she called me and said, Pop, I didn't know. Now, I know y'all have talked about money to me, but this book was different. It sparked something. Oh no, I got to change this because I'm in debt. I'm up to my eyeballs in debt on a credit card. And I'm going to change this. And she ended her lease. As soon as her lease was up, which was close to, got a much lower housing cost, got rid of one of them cards and sold it. She said, I only need one. Started cooking her own meals and doing her food prep during the week so she wouldn't have to go out to dinner every night, and started chopping away at that credit card debt. She said, Pop, I'm going to grow wealth. I'm going to grow wealth. I'm going to grow wealth. And she got serious. That's why I say input determines output. If you don't know, you can't do. But once you know, then you can start to do. And here's the thing, George. There's a thing that I write about in the book called arrogant ignorance. Now, it's one thing to be ignorant. We all are ignorant. I told you I was ignorant about what wealth was. And I still got a lot of ignorance. I don't know how to fly a plane. I don't know how to.
But do you want to fly a plane?
I don't think so. I want a plane, but I don't want to fly it. Okay. I want somebody who know what they do. I'm way too optimistic. I'm the guy who said, "Oh, the weather's bad today. We can make it." I'm not the guy who should be. But I got some ignorance still.
Right.
Got a lot of ignorance. When I was in graduate school, my professor said, "You know, we are all chopping away at our ignorance every day if we're trying to educate ourselves. That's one thing to be ignorant, but then when you're arrogant and ignorant, it's a
That's
terrible thing.
that's deadly.
It's deadly. Because see, the person who is willing to get help, oh well, the worst person who knows everything, no one can help them.
Mm-hmm.
And the person who is willing to get help, no one can stop them.
Mm.
Once you're willing to learn, then no one will be able to stop you from doing it. So that's why we are trying to encourage people with this book to get it for your family, get it for yourself, get it for your friends, people who you love. Get this book and give it to people, bless them with it, and say, I want to help you get your fix in 2026. So this is going to be a major book this year.
You also identified that its wealth is beyond just when we think of financial. You identify other areas where wealth,
Other types of wealth.
other
Yeah.
types of wealth. So talk to me, brother.
There are 5 types of wealth that I've discovered. There's financial wealth that we all think of, but then there's health wealth. You know, what good is all the money if you're sick? As I said, the Dalai Lama said, you know, you folks are working to get your money, and then you're spending all your money to try and regain your health. Steve Jobs said, I'd give it all up for more time. So your health, make that a priority.
Health is
Then
wealth. You've heard that, right?
health is wealth. Health is wealth. That's right. Then the third wealth is relationship wealth. What good is having all the money? Who's not just where you're going, who's going with you? Who's going with you? Your family. You know, what is having all, what they say, the old saying that you never see a funeral with a Hertz a truck behind it. You know, one of those money trucks behind it. What's it called? Brinks.
Brinks.
A Brinks
Car, an armored car truck. Yes.
You don't see that go. You can't take it with you. It's about the people you go with.
But Willie, I got something for you on this one, right?
Yeah.
Because relationship wealth can be also summed up by making love, making money, and making it last.
Thank you, George. For those who don't know, he just talked about my marriage book with my wife, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. I hope all of you have a copy or go get a copy. If you're married or in a relationship, the book is a bestseller. We've been married 40 years, haven't had an argument 38 years. We work together, we travel together, we do everything together. And so we encourage people to Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. You can get that at jollymarriage.com. And you can go see our TED Talk, which is one of the most popular relationship TED Talks now, on how to never, ever argue again in your relationship, in your marriage.
I don't know about this TED Talk.
Oh, yeah, you should know about it. It's a powerful TED Talk, very popular. How to never, ever argue again in marriage gives the four steps or the four points we use in our system for not arguing.
And the point we're making is that relationship is wealth. So that's why I want to talk.
Yep.
I want to give Willie an opportunity to talk about him and his lovely bride, Dee, how they've been doing it for 40 years.
Yes. So, yeah, thank you, George. And we still like newlyweds. I still got the hots for her. So, okay. Financial wealth, health wealth, relationship wealth, then reputational wealth.
Okay, talk to me, because this is big.
It's huge.
Especially in the age of social media.
Oh,
and we want to post everything. We want to share all of that. Come on with you.
But when you got a good reputation, it paves a path in front of you. Your reputation will pave a path in front of you. I often talk about my friend Biddy, who was an incredible human resource manager. She started as a grade 2, but she outworked everybody, gave them customer service, always went the extra mile, went from grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, grade 6. And then she got pregnant, came back grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, grade 10. Then she got pregnant again. So she and her husband decided that she would stay home and raise the kids till it was time for them to go to school. And they just deal with the one income because childcare was very expensive. But when she wanted to go back to work, finally, when they were both in school, there was a job freeze in the government. But somebody remembered her and how well she worked and got her in when in the midst of a job freeze because of her
Mm,
reputation for being
mm,
excellent.
mm-hmm.
And she ended up being the director of human resources for the government printing office. And then someone from the Department of Agriculture said, we need Biddy. Let's get her over here. We got a problem. They made her director of a big area there. Her reputation kept paving a path. Even after she retired, people would still bring her back for her reputation. Reputation is powerful. It creates wealth. It creates opportunities. So get a great reputation, work on it, fight for it, do all you can to get a great reputation, and understand you have to keep fighting because see, only takes a minute, 60 seconds in it. My another book. It only takes a minute, 60 seconds in it. Force upon me, can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in it. You know, most of the time I start that with my interviews with that poem from my book, It Only Takes a Minute to Change Your Life. But it only takes a minute to destroy a good reputation. One foolish decision. One foolish decision. So that minute can either build you or break you. Be wise with every minute. So your reputation. And then the fifth kind of wealth, George, intellectual capital wealth.
Okay, come
What
on.
do you know?
Mm.
What do you know? Everybody knows something. And that wisdom, that knowledge is of value to somebody. That's what a consulting firm does. People have big consulting firms, and all they do is share knowledge. They share their informational wisdom, their knowledge with people, and people will pay them. But in every industry, you got somebody who's willing to pay you for what you know. Okay.
Along those lines, Willie, and I think this intellectual wealth and your own ability to contribute to it, I think is what get a lot of people tripped up in the sense that how do we protect our intellectual?
Well, how do you protect your IP as they call it?
Yes,
Your IP. So that's why you got IP lawyers, you
right.
got trademarks, you got copyrights, you got patents, so that people can protect their IP. And and then how do you make that IP something that can be passed on? Well, this is my IP.
There you go.
All right, these books over back here. It only takes a minute to change your life. A setback is a setup for a comeback. Turn setbacks into greenbacks. An attitude of excellence. Make love, make money, make it
Make it
last.
last.
All right. All of those are my IP. And my goal is that in 100 years, people will still be buying my books. And my family will get the results of that effort that I'm doing now. You know, one of the people I interviewed, George, for the book was the president of the Dale Carnegie Institute.
Mm-hmm.
And we were having a conversation, and I said, well, tell me a business model of Dale Carnegie. We all know he wrote the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And he also has the Dale Carnegie Institute, that is a presentation skills and leadership development and training organization. It's
Mm-hmm.
all over the world. He said, well, we have franchises. People buy franchises. I said, oh, really? I didn't know it was a franchise business. I said, how much is franchise? He told me the amount of money. I said, how many franchises you got? He told me the amount of franchises. I did the math. That many franchises about that much money. Whoa, that's a lot of money coming in. Whoa, that's a lot of money coming in every year. I said, look, where can I buy stock? I want to buy some of the stock in your company. He said, you can't. I said, why can't I? He said, because it's a private company. I said, a private company? Well, who owns the company? Here's what blew my mind. He said, the family owns the company. His heirs own the company. But then he really blew my mind. I said, well, how long have they owned it? He said 110 years.
110 years.
110 years they've been getting an annual paycheck to the family because their great, 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 great grandfather had some IP that he put into a system. Wow. Woo! Wow.
Yeah, I mean, how do we do that in our community? How do
Well,
we do?
how do we do it? Simple. We Educate our children. See, one of the things that is important, each generation educated the next generation to not squander it. Now, let's take another
Right,
example.
right.
The Vanderbilts.
The Vanderbilts, yep.
Now, the Vanderbilts were the wealthiest. Grandpop Vanderbilt started a steamboat company and then a railroad and became the wealthiest man in the world. At one point, he had more money in his bank than the U.S. government had in their whole bank. He was the wealthiest man in the world. And he passed it on to his son, but he taught his son how to maintain the wealth. And his son did well and built on his father's success. But by the third generation, that's when you start losing the money, baby. Third generation, they were having big parties. They had mansions and big parties. Everybody they were known for having big parties. Everybody knew the Vanderbilts for having the best parties. But then they didn't keep their eye on the marketplace. And trucks were coming into play for shipping and planes. And so they started losing market share, but they didn't pay no attention because they kept having their parties. And then one day, the fourth generation, they woke up and they were broke. You know, Anderson Cooper.
Right. His mom, Gloria Vanderbilt. Mm-hmm.
Gloria Vanderbilt. She told him and his brother, there's no more trust fund.
Wow.
You're going to have to make it on your own now, guys. The brother committed suicide. Anderson worked hard and got in the media and is great at what he does and has been able to create some wealth on his own. But the Vanderbilts, an example of ones who didn't teach their children over generations. The Carnegies are one that did teach their children over generations. And 5 generations later, they are still reaping the benefits.
That name continues. Willie, is it so you write in the book that we must be willing to struggle now in order to soar later. So what does that look like for someone who's starting fresh in 2026? If we're looking to build wealth, why do I have to struggle now?
Well, if you have a child, your child for the initial mode of transportation or getting around is crawling.
Yes, it is.
And they become proficient at that.
Okay.
One day, they get up on their own 2 feet. And they try and take a step, but they fall down. Now, sometimes they fall on their backsides, but sometimes they fall on their face. But not one parent says, oh, stay there, baby. Every parent says, get up.
Okay.
Get up. Try it again. It's okay. And they fall and they get up, and they fall and they get up. Because they know if they never fell and got up, they never learned how to walk.
There you go.
How to run, how to maximize the potential. And so it's the struggle where the success is generated, the strength is created. One more thing, George. If you even, I have a degree in theology.
Yes, you do. Among other things.
Above other things. But one of the things you have to look at, all of the great achievers in the Bible always had a wilderness experience before they came to their greatness. Moses, Joseph, Jesus always had a wilderness experience before they became the great people they were listed to be in the book. Most success stories have some wilderness. I found very few that don't. It's part of the growing. It's the part of the developing. So in the book, I talk about David Stewart, whose car was repossessed. He watched them as they were taking his car. Kathy Hughes. Now, David Stewart, by the way, ended up being America's wealthiest black man. Right now, his business, Worldwide Technology, I think they did last year $16 billion. He's the wealthiest black man in America.
Kathy, I don't know. How come I don't know that name?
Most people don't know him. He's the wealthiest one. Look him up. David Stewart. Wealthiest black man in America. Sends me a biblical text every morning.
Love it.
Okay. Kathy Hughes. Radio One. Car was repossessed. House was foreclosed. She had to make a decision whether she was going to pay her employees or pay the mortgage. She said, I'm gonna pay the employees. So they took the house, they took the car. She lived in the radio studio on a sleeping bag, washing up in the corporate bathroom in the building.
That's the struggle.
Eating on a hot plate. Going to a friend's house once or twice a week to have a shower. But now she's the wealthiest Black woman in media, owns Radio One, TV One, and many other.
Compared to Oprah, or is she?
No. Not by owning a media company. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let me rephrase that. She's not the wealthiest. Oprah's the wealthiest, but she's one of the wealthiest. Well, let's look at Oprah.
Right.
Let's just take Oprah.
Let's start there.
She was struggling on TV on a Baltimore station, and her goal said, if I can just make my age and my income when I'm 22, if I can just get $22,000 a year, I'll be happy. 23, if I can just get there. And so she struggled, went to Chicago, begged the station manager to give her a shot, said, I will not let you down. It was a struggle, but she built this. And so don't let the struggle. Wow. Tyler Perry slept in his car. Okay. Steve Harvey slept in his car. T.D. Jakes worked for the utility company and dug ditches with the power company. Speaking at night to little churches that could pay him $25. He said how he had to take that money and go to he couldn't buy diapers for his children, so he went and got paper towels. They became the diapers because they couldn't afford their diapers. So that's the deal. You must be willing to struggle in order to soar. You're on mute, George.
Rich is good, wealthy is better. I tell you what, you warn people not to chase secrets, but to build systems. So
yes.
What is one system every listener should start building this year?
This is one that's going to play into two areas, a spiritual and a secular.
Okay.
It is what my formula for money is. Number one, out of every dollar I get, every dollar, a dime goes to a tithe. I give a dime because that's a seed.
You got, and you committed to that.
I'm committed to that. Now, I wasn't always. I had to learn that from my friend Keith Harrell when we were both authors, speakers, and we were both putting out books. And one day he gets a $1 million book deal. I still on that $30,000 book deal. I said, how'd you get that big book deal? He said, Brother Willie, do you tithe? I said, what's a tithe? Now, I got a guy who grew up in church, but my church never talked about tithing. He said, tithe, you thank God for the opportunity, and you bless him by blessing a good ministry that's doing good work. Not just anybody, not just some huckster, but a good ministry. You check them out and doing good work, and you give them a tithe. So you tithe a dime. I said, okay. I tried it. I have never stopped. That's been over 25 years. I tithe. Second dime, I save. There's going to be a rainy day. Oh, there's going to be a rainy day. You're going to get a flat tire. Your wash machine's going to go out sometime. Your refrigerator is going to start acting janky. You got to have money saved. And then the third dime, I invest. What kind of shoes do you wear? You wear Nike, you should have a little bit of Nike stock. You shop at Walmart, you should have a little Walmart stock. Now, in this day and time, you can buy fractional shares of stock. You're on Google, you should have a little bit of Google. You're on Amazon every day, you should own a little bit of it. Tithe a dime, save a dime, invest a dime, and I live on 70% of what I bring in.
You know who
Go ahead.
And hold your thought, please.
Yeah.
Delaney, the Delaney sisters. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah.
They lived to 100.
Yes.
And that was their philosophy. Give, tithe 10% and live joyfully on the rest. And you're saying invest the rest, but they said live joyfully on the rest.
Yes. I like that, Joe. I didn't know that, but I'll look it up.
The Delaney sisters.
Delaney sisters.
Yeah, they lived to be 100 years old.
Give 10% and enjoy the rest. Now, but that was one side. Let's talk to the secular side. Rockefeller said tithing was the secret to my success. He said, if I hadn't been able to give the 10% of the $1.50 salary I had when I got started, I'd never been able to do with this what I'm doing with the $150 million. John Templeton, who started Money Magazine, said of interviews he's done with wealthy and himself and the people he's counseled, majority of the people are tithers. And then LL Cool J, somebody in pop culture, said the secret to his success as a rapper and as an actor is he tithes. This is a principle. Look, if you take a rock and throw it up 100 times, George, it's going to come down 100 times because of a principle called gravity. Same is true for tithing. It's a principle. You seed, you give seed and offer, and then it also helps you not make money your God. See, God does not condemn you having money. He condemns you worshiping money.
So let's staying on tithing then, right?
Yeah.
As a part of wealth building, right?
Yes.
A lot of people, and this is where faith comes in, right? Because they're like, oh my God. Then we get into the question of gross or net, all of that stuff, right?
Right. But my answer is really simple to that. You want a net blessing or you want a gross blessing?
Come on now.
I want a gross blessing, so I tithe on the gross, okay?
Go ahead, preacher. But because then going back to that fear, if I tithe all of that, the fear is I won't have enough, but then that's not trusting and believing.
Well, that's the mindset. Okay, it's a mindset that says I have a lack mindset, scarcity. I had to get past that to get to an abundance mindset. Look, there is not a lack of money in the earth, in the world. There's not a lack of money, but few folks are accessing it because they have a scarcity mentality. They have a fear, fear-based thinking.
Yes.
And so I give God. I say, God, you ain't nobody going. Oh no, you ain't got to beat me up. You ain't got to holler at me. You ain't got to shake the Bible at me. I'm giving because I see how it has helped me. Okay, how it has blessed me. And so, people say, well, I can't afford to tithe. Okay, well, I can't afford not to.
I know that's right.
Come on now.
Listen, rich is good.
Wealthy is better. I want everybody to go out and get copies. Get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I'm going to offer this to folks. A lot of people are into mastermind groups.
Yes.
Right? Get this for your mastermind group and begin to study and put the principles in place. And for people that don't know, mastermind groups are a group of people who agree to hold each other accountable. They might have shared goals and mindsets, and you have to report your wins and things that you said you were going to do. That's that's a simple version of what a mastermind group is. Right. You might be able to.
And Think and Grow Rich, a mastermind group is where 2 or 3 minds come together to make a greater mind. Okay, that's it. And when you get there, you'll see things. You'll get ideas that you wouldn't have thought, because everybody has a blind spot. Everybody. That's why on your card says over here, be careful, there's a blind spot. Everybody has one. So when you have other people say, oh, how about this? Why didn't I think of that? Because you couldn't, because you have a blind spot. That's the power of the mastermind. And so we encourage you, if you're not read Think and Grow Rich, by the way, folks, I want to give you a copy. Okay? I'm going to give you a copy, because it's made more millionaires than any other book. Go to wjwow.com, wjwow.com, and get a digital downloadable copy. Okay. And then go to richisgood.wealthyisbetter.com and get an order. You ain't gonna get that free now. You got to order it, but you buy 2 or more, you get free shipping. We will give you free shipping, but you got to buy the book because
Yeah,
this book
listen.
gonna create wealth. Okay.
Yeah, let's buy the book, and I'm encouraging, groups. Let this be your book for
Yeah, book of the month.
book
Yeah,
of the month.
sure.
This is
Yeah.
because we've got to move towards wealth in 2026. If we haven't done it in 25, do it in 26. And aside from buying the book, Willie, the last thing you want people to, if they was only going to walk away with one thing,
Yes.
what must they commit to doing differently starting now?
The number one thing you must do: live below your means.
Period.
Period. Live
Okay.
below your means. Do not spend all the money. Do not spend all the money. You got to live. I know you're in debt. And one more thing while I'm thinking of it is discipline.
Yeah.
Got to have discipline. And in order to live below your means, you got to have discipline. In order to tithe, you got to have discipline. In order to have margin, you have to have discipline. Develop your discipline and say, I am going to get out of debt this year. I'm at least a high end debt, like credit card debt. I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to live below my means. I'm going to pay off these credit cards. I'm going to start cooking my own food, not eating out every day. I don't have to have the newest Gucci bag. I'm going to get
Wait.
that off of me.
Let me show you. And you don't need a new one of these every year either.
No, you don't need a new phone every year, every time it comes out.
Listen, I'm still back at 12, y'all. So
there you go. There you go. Be wise and pray for wisdom and learn about how money works. The book tells you how money works, how money came to be, the different types of currency, how we should be thinking about money, and how you can teach your children about money. Here's what we want. We want, when you die, that you will have had a left nest egg, that your children will see it as a blessing and not as a lottery hit.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So listen, I'll tell you what, listeners, 2026 is our wealth challenge year. All right.
Yep.
If I think about the principle of Kwanzaa,
Yep.
Ojima, cooperative economics. So let's think cooperatively in 2026 that this is going to be the year, right?
Yep.
Which is good.
Wealthy is better.
.com.
That's right. And one more thing.
Show me that book.
Oh yeah, here's the book. Rich is good. Wealthy is better. And there's a great cover. So many people like the cover. Rich is good, wealthy is better. Also, set goals.
Oh.
Now, if you go to winwithwillie.com, winwithwillie.com, you'll see all my sites there. You'll see the Willie Jolley site for business, for music, for you want to be a speaker, but we also have one for goal setting, the goal setting, goal achieving class. Take the class. This is the perfect time of the year to do it. Right now, get the class. It's cheap. I mean, it's not expensive at all. And get it on. It's about 4 hours. Sit down Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon with your family, or Sunday night or whatever.
Right.
And y'all pick out a pad and a piece of paper. Each person have a pad and a piece of paper, and you go through the exercises to set your goals.
Don't binge watch your favorite show. Binge this goal setting program.
Do it, and it'll change your family. My family, they look forward every year to our goal setting time during the holidays and first of the year because they've seen the impact it's had.
Amen.
All right. So that's winwithwillie.com, winwithwillie.com.
Looking as we move forward in 2026, don't just chase a bag, build a system. Don't just earn steward. Don't just succeed. Leave a legacy. Winwithwillie.com. Rich is good, wealthy is better is the book. And listen, we want you to win.
Yep.
We want you to prosper.
Yep.
But more importantly, we want you to be wealthy.
Amen. 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 And leave something. Leave an inheritance and a will and not a bill. Boom. I gotta just take a moment to tell everybody this is like the 25th year I've been on the beginning of the year with George Kilpatrick. It's got to be quite close to 25 years.
And it's been a minute.
Maybe longer than that, George.
No,
you know what?
For real, no.
Because it only takes a minute to change your life was when we did the first interview.
Yes.
That came out in 1997.
Yes.
Okay, so it's almost 30 years. I have not missed a year with you. And
Amen.
I'm honored to be your friend, honored to be a part of the Inspiration for the Nation family. And I just want to encourage everybody to support George Kilpatrick, especially sponsors.
Please.
Support them and keep this kind of great radio on the air. So that's my pitch for everybody.
I appreciate that. I interrupted you, so can you just say it again?
Sponsors give him money, and everybody else support him. Whatever he's got going on, support him because we want him on the air.
George Kilpatrick, Inspiration for the Nation, our good friend, Dr. Willie Jolley, who is really one of the most transformative people that I've ever met, and his books change lives. Get this new book, Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better.com. I'm encouraging look, I'm in the frat. Yo, let's do this, frat. Let's go. Let's do this. Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Let's go. Let's get this book and let's build wealth together in 2026. Dr. Willie Jolley, Inspiration for the Nation. Check out Willie on Sirius XM channel 141. The Wealthy
Saturday at 4 o'clock, Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, and then it re-airs Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 Eastern. But if you don't have XM, you can just go to my Willie Jolley Wealthy Weights podcast on all platforms, all of them, and just listen to all these great interviews.
This is the man right here, Dr. Willie Jolley, George Kilpatrick, Inspiration for the Nation. We love you, man.
Thank you, man. Love you more.
Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better.com.